OCD features two parts. There's the obsessions and then there's compulsions. So the obsessions are these unwanted, distressing, intrusive thoughts that cause anxiety to rise and are really repetitive. And then the compulsions are performed in response to the obsessions. And so the compulsions are performed in order to reduce the anxiety caused by the obsessions or to make sure that a dreaded outcome doesn't come up. So in terms of obsessions in relation to the kinds of themes that we see, we normally see themes like sex or sexuality, harm, violence, danger, relationships, religion. So the kinds of thoughts that we might see are things like, oh my goodness, I just put my mask down. Have I made that person sick? If I fall asleep, will I jump out the window? Am I gay? Am I straight? What if I don't feel the way that I'm supposed to feel about my partner? What if I get a disgusted feeling and it never goes away? What if I go crazy? And then compulsions are anything that is performed in response to those thoughts. So it might be a mental ritual like scanning your body to check that you've got the right kinds of sensations, or going over memories, or it might be a physical compulsion, like actually seeking reassurance from other people, or checking, or tapping, or arranging, or counting, or washing, or cleaning. So anything that's trying to reduce that distress.
It's really interesting. Lena, what were your initial symptoms and how old were you when you first became aware of them?
So I have pure O. It started when I was about a teenager, around 15 years old. It started for me with sexual obsessions. I had unwanted, intrusive imagery of naked bodies that I found at odds to what I wanted. And I was asking myself, am I aroused? Do I like this? Am I a creep? Am I bad? And then it developed into replaced by violent thoughts and suicidal and harmful thoughts. It led me to spending hours a day ruminating about all the things that made me bad and trying to figure out how and when I would die. And my compulsions included vividly imagining how I could hurt myself. And for some reason, I was convinced that in my role as a junior doctor, that I would take my life. And I mean, I've peeled back the layers now, and the work and suicide stuff is mostly under control, but I still have obsessions and compulsions that play out on a day-to-day basis.
Did you recognise as a teenager that you should be talking to someone? And when you did look for help, did you go to the right place?
As a teenager, absolutely not at all. I didn't understand what was going on in my mind. I didn't understand that this could possibly be OCD. I saw a psychologist when I was 17 years old, but we didn't even scratch the surface. And then I spoke with a GP about it when I was 21, and I told her about my fears of killing myself. And I was referred to a psychiatrist, and I was diagnosed with anxiety, and I was started on anti-anxiety medications, but it still took another 4 years to get a diagnosis and get appropriate treatment.
Andrea, do you believe that is a common patient experience? And do you think that this condition is understood well within the healthcare sector?
It is a common experience, and I think that it's not understood well in the healthcare sector or really anywhere else. I think often people mistake kind of just a bit of cleanliness or a person who kind of maybe just checks their locks or washes their hands a bit more than usual as someone who has OCD. I don't think people don't really understand just how distressing these thoughts are, and they don't understand the wide variety of things that can be the compulsive part of the disorder.
What types of treatment are available for the condition, and will it be cured?
So the gold standard treatment is a CBT with exposure and response prevention. So that involves actually getting clients to trigger their unwanted intrusive thoughts and then to not engage in the compulsive behaviour, so not do anything to try to keep themselves feeling safe. And it's really effective treatment. So if people make it through the treatment, it's a really hard treatment, but if they make it through, then around about 70% experience significant recovery.
All right, Lena, you talked to us a little bit about your treatment. So you are still going through treatment. Do you believe it does work?
Yeah, definitely. Once I was diagnosed, and I did the inpatient OCD program and had intensive exposure response prevention therapy. And I've been linked in with the right treating team. So I see a psychiatrist regularly who's great, and a psychologist as well. And I'm on the right medications, and I practice psychological strategies every day, like, meditating in the car, or, meditating whilst I walk. And I definitely have seen an improvement since I kind of let people in and acknowledged the diagnosis and got help.
Is your experience now part of the reason you're studying to become a GP?
No, not at all, actually. So I think that I had wanted to be a doctor before I kind of realized that I had OCD. And I mean, I have been driven towards general practice because I'm quite passionate about mental health and helping people with mental health struggles. And I feel like I'm pretty well suited to helping people with mental health struggles. But no, GP and OCD have kind of been two separate paths in my life.
Okay. Andrea, if someone is watching this segment right now and would like to pursue help, what should their first steps be?
So there's actually some really good information. If they, even just Googling OCD can actually be quite helpful. And then speak to your GP. Speak to your GP and let them know that you think that you might have OCD and that's something that you'd like to explore with a psychologist.
Okay, Dr. Andrea Wallace and Lena Rennick, thank you both for your contribution to Mental Health Awareness Week, breaking down barriers to talking about OCD. It's been great to have you both on.
Thank you.
And if you need information or support, you can contact Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636. Or if you or someone you know is experiencing distress, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14.